For thousands of years, India has had this deep, almost spiritual connection to treasure. It's a story of faith, of security, of incredible wealth. But out of this vast ocean of riches, one single legendary jewel emerged, and its story, well, it's pretty much etched in blood and conquest. To really get a handle on this obsession, let's just start with a number, a truly staggering number, over 25,000 tons. Now, what is that? That's the estimated amount of gold being held privately right now in India's homes. To put that in perspective, that's more than the official gold reserves of the United States, Germany, and Italy combined. So that just begs the question, right? Why? What is driving this incredible accumulation of gold? Well, it's not just about money, not at all. It's a story that's been 5,000 years in the making, and it's woven into the very fabric of Indian culture, religion, and history. Okay, so let's go way back. Let's explore this 5,000-year love affair to really understand how gold became so fundamentally important to India.
The continuity here it's remarkable. I mean, think about it. From the ancient Indus Valley, where gold was first used for trade, all the way to the Vedic texts that basically called it divine. Empires rose and fell. You had the Guptas, the Mughals, and each one was minting their own gold coins. Even during the British colonial era, people trusted gold way more than they trusted banks. And that's a tradition that absolutely continues to this day. So, the crucial point to get here is that gold in India is so much more than just an investment. It's a sacred symbol of the goddess Lakshmi, representing wealth and good fortune. It's a non-negotiable part of weddings, a super secure safety net for emergencies, and really a cornerstone of cultural identity. And from this vast ocean of gold, one single, incomparable jewel emerged. A stone so legendary, it was given a name that means the Mountain of Light, the Kohinoor. Our story kicks off way back in the 13th century, in what is now Andhra Pradesh in southern India. In these famous Kolur mines, a diamond of just unbelievable size and clarity was dug out of the earth. And, as was the tradition, this priceless discovery was immediately presented to the local king of the Kakatiya dynasty. It's actually hard to even imagine the sheer scale of the original stone. When it was found, it weighed a colossal 793 carats. Now, over the centuries, through multiple recuts, it's been whittled down to its current weight of 105.6 carats. I mean, what a dramatic transformation for such a legendary gem. Now, this diamond was not going to stay with its original owners for long. Instead, it began this violent, centuries-long journey, a journey just marked by conquest and bloodshed as it passed through the hands of one rising and falling empire after another. And here's a really critical detail you need to understand. The Kohinoor was never bought or sold. Not once. It was taken. Every single time. From the Delhi Sultanate to the Mughals, from Persian invaders to Afghan warlords, and from the Sikh Empire to the British, it was always a spoil of war, the ultimate symbol of conquest. Even the formidable founder of the Mughal Empire, Emperor Babur, was just completely in awe of it. In his famous memoir, the Baburnama, he actually wrote down its legendary value, imagining it could feed the entire world for a full day. And this is one of the earliest written records we have of the diamond's immense worth. As the diamond passed from one ruler to the next, a dark legend started to form around it. It was said that the gem brought terrible misfortune, and usually a violent end, to any man who possessed it. And you know what? History seemed to prove it right time and time again, from Shah Jahan imprisoned by his own son to Nader Shah assassinated by his own guards. Okay, so this brings us to a really pivotal moment in the story. It's 1739, and the Persian ruler Nader Shah has just brutally sacked Delhi. He seizes the entire Mughal treasury, including the famous peacock throne, but he can't find the great diamond. Turns out, it was ingeniously hidden by the Mughal emperor, right in the folds of his turban. But Nader Shah was, well, he was pretty cunning. After learning about its hiding spot, he cleverly proposed a celebratory exchange of turbans with the defeated emperor, a gesture of friendship that couldn't possibly be refused. And as the turban was unraveled and the diamond fell out, catching the light, Nader Shah is said to have just involuntarily exclaimed, "Kohinoor." And just like that, that is how the diamond finally got its iconic name. That Persian exclamation, Kohinoor. It translates to Mountain of Light. I mean, what a fitting title for a gem of such breathtaking brilliance. a name that has echoed through history ever since. So after Nader Shah's assassination, the Dian was taken to Afghanistan, but its final chapter in Asia, that would unfold in the powerful Sikh empire of Punjab, a kingdom that, for a short time at least, halted the Diamond's chaotic journey. The Kohinoor eventually ended up with the formidable Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who was known as the Lion of Punjab. And he didn't hide it away, not at all. He cherished it, and he proudly wore the massive diamond on an armband as the ultimate symbol of his power and his sovereignty. But after Ranjit Singh's death in 1839, well, that curse seemed to strike again. His empire was plunged into this bloody succession crisis. And seeing all this instability, the British East India companies saw their chance, and they attacked. By 1849, the weakened Sikh empire was defeated and annexed, and the last Sikh Maharaja, just a boy at the time, was forced to sign the Treaty of Lahore, which explicitly surrendered the Kohinoor to the British Queen. And so the Mountain of Light began its final journey. It was transported under heavy guard all the way from Lahore to London, where it was destined for a new owner, Queen Victoria, the Empress of India. Now, you'd think people would be blown away, right? But when the diamond was put on public display at the Great Exhibition of 1851, the reaction was surprisingly meh. The London public, they were used to these brilliant cut, super sparkly gems, and they were really underwhelmed by its more subtle, traditional Indian cut. This disappointment actually prompted Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, to take some pretty drastic action. So the diamond got a significant royal makeover. It was pretty controversially recut in the modern European style. The process took 38 days, and it reduced its weight considerably, but it dramatically increased its fire and sparkle. And, honoring that legend of the curse, it was decided that no male monarch would ever wear it. Since then, it has only ever been set in the crowns of female consorts, the queens. Today, the Kohinoor sits in the Tower of London, a centerpiece of the British crown jewels. But its story? Well, it's far from over. Its ownership remains one of the most complex and hotly debated cultural issues in the entire world. At least 4 different nations have laid formal claim to the diamond. India, of course, as its land of origin, Pakistan as an heir to the Sikh empire, and both Afghanistan and Iran through their own periods of conquest. Each one of these claims is rooted in a different chapter of the diamond's long and bloody history, and they're all demanding its return from Britain. And this leaves us with a final, really provocative question. Is the Kohinoor an Indian national treasure? Is it a spoil of war that should be returned? Or, after more than 170 years in London, has it become a British heritage item? It's a question that really cuts to the very heart of how we think about history, about conquest, and about who gets to own the past.